Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is a 2020 Ram Rebel, and today I'm going to review it for you guys. You know, I think the Rebel would be the perfect hero truck for like a disaster movie.
Coming next summer.
Oh my goodness, we gotta get out of here. Look, it's a twister. Wasn't this whole thing your idea in the first place? Like, didn't you want to come out here to find a tornado? And now you just want to run away from it? There's no time to explain. Quick, hop in my eco-diesel Ram Rebel 1500 with Bilstein shocks. It's the only thing that'll allow us to get out of here. That was really specific. Like, no human being speaks like that. Are you reading an ad? Well, we gotta pay for this movie somehow. Come on!
Ryan Reynolds and Ben Affleck. Twister 2. Tornado Harder.
Hey Hollywood, if you need any ideas for a script, call me. All of my ideas involve trucks. Before we begin, I want to thank Brown Daub Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for allowing me to review this truck. For all your Chrysler Jeep Dodge or Ram needs, you can visit Brown Daub right off of Route 33 in Easton, Pennsylvania, or at their website, browndaub.net. Starting out up front on the 1500 Rebel, you're going to get these LED headlights with these LED daytime running lights and fog lights. I kind of debate if I like the LED headlights a little bit more on the Limited I did or this one. It's kind of a big toss-up. Either way, I think the Ram trucks have the most aggressive, best-looking front end of any pickup truck that they make currently. I just really, really love how they designed everything. Down here, you're going to get parking sensors and tow hooks, and you get this just sick Rebel grill. I really like the design push towards the Ram logo being front and center on these trucks now. I didn't hate the kind of crosshair grill they had before on the Rams, but I definitely think this design flows a little bit better and the aesthetic is really good. Up on the top hood here, I had to check if these hood vents were real. Unfortunately, it does not look like they are real, but nonetheless, they've done an excellent job of making this truck look aggressive, and it is incredibly off-road worthy. So being the closest thing to a Ford Raptor competitor, I think Ram did an excellent job in the styling department and, as we'll see, the off-roading department. Moving underneath the hood, this Rebel is powered by a 3-liter eco-diesel making 260 horsepower and 480 foot-pound of torque. That definitely comes in handy, especially in the towing, which we'll get to in a little bit. The really cool thing with this is that Ram is adopting this on all their 1500 models. You don't just have to get the highest trim for this eco-diesel to be available. Moving literally underneath the Ram Rebel, as you can see, it's got tons of ground clearance, these great skid plates for underneath, optional Bilstein shocks, and a locking rear differential. Moving on to the profile of the truck, you get these awesome 18-inch gloss black wheels wrapped around these huge Wrangler tires. I think the immediate differentiator between this Ram and the Ram Limited I did recently is that one's the more luxury focused model. This one, obviously being more off-road worthy, has a lot more plastic. Like, you get these plastic fender flares, plastic running boards, plastic mirror caps, but the utilitarian design is kind of on purpose. If you're going to take it off-road, that's just much better, a little bit easier to clean off, and then if something does break, a lot cheaper to replace. Moving down here, you do have the feature, I'm going to call it keyless entry, that it'll lock the truck, and then if you have the key in your pocket, you just hold your hand right there and it'll unlock it. I'm sure there's like a more technical term for that, but it's like really, really keyless entry. You do get a turn signal indicator on the mirror cap here, and I think that about wraps up the profile. Let's move to the back. Moving on to the rear of the Rebel, you're going to get a max payload capacity of 2,100 pounds and a max towing capacity of up to 12,560 pounds. Like I said, this thing really hauls, literally. But moving on to the rest of the back here, you're going to get parking sensors, dual exhaust. Love the Ram's dual exhaust, always looks really cool. And then you have Ram spelled out across the tailgate here and your Rebel badge. You're also going to get your parking sensors in here integrated into the taillight, and there is a step down here that if you put your foot on it, you can bring the step down and then you can have a little bit easier access to the bed. That is really cool, and then you can just kick it back up on there. Moving into the bed itself, this particular one has tie-down rails on the sides with clamps, and this does have a spray-in bed liner. One thing I really like about these Rams is that they use aluminum tailgates, so like this is an incredibly dampened and light tailgate. I can even take my pinky, and while it's hard with my pinky, it's so light to be able to put back up. Really nice, ease of use, convenient tailgate. You also have your backup camera here as well. Moving on to the interior of the Rebel, this thing sure doesn't skimp on luxury inside. This is very similar to the Ram Limited I reviewed recently, though not as upscale. This one does have a 9-speaker Alpine audio system with an included subwoofer. This one unfortunately does not have the full 12-inch display, though this one's still really big. I think it's about an 8-inch screen display on here. Uconnect is fantastic. I've gone on in many videos in the past, in the Jeep, in the Rams I've done. The Uconnect system is incredibly quick. It's very responsive, very ease of use. Moving below that, you get physical buttons, heated seats, and a heated steering wheel, which is really cool back here. And then you have buttons for your parking sensors. You have your axle lock down here, hill descent control, and then you have some USBs. This one does have the controversial, as all the Rams do now, the controversial shifter in here. I really like it. As I've reviewed more of these Rams, I've gotten very used to it. I was kind of lukewarm about it initially, but overall, I think it saves a lot of space. Basically, you just put your foot on the brake and twist, and even if you over twist, it's just going to go right into drive. It's not going to, go anywhere else. I think it's pretty convenient, and Dodge has done a really good job of implementing it on these trucks. So you do get a screen in the center of the gauge cluster, flanked by 2 large traditional dials, your tach and your speedometer, and then 2 smaller ones for your fuel and your oil. And moving over here to the door, I do like the textures that they've done. This is a nicer leather material here. I always complain about how, these trucks use hard touch plastics where you're going to rest your arm right here, but the Rebel's done a really nice job. Driver's side grab handle check. We're back, baby. This truck has it, as do all the new Rams, which I absolutely love. Really, really, really cool. Above the screen, you do get a 12-volt DC outlet and a little glasses holder up there. That's pretty cool. And then inside here, you just get loads of storage. It's absolutely massive, really, really cool. And there's a little divider tray in here, and the cool thing about that is you can pop it up, but it has all the different generations of the Ram trucks etched into it. A really nice design cue. And lastly, moving up here in the front, you do get a panoramic moonroof. Absolutely love it in this truck. It is so cool. And then you are going to get LED lights in here, dome lights, and then you're going to have all your controls for the moonroof and the SOS emergency controls. Let's move to the back. Moving to the back of the Rebel, I've talked so much about how amazing the legroom is in these Ram trucks. It's awesome, so much legroom. And the luxury continues back here. You do get a grab handle back here as well. There's USBs and USB-Cs, as well as a household power outlet. And you do get vents back here. Unfortunately, on this specific Rebel, this one does not have heated seats for the rear, though it is an option. The leather is so comfortable. I forgot to mention that up front. Really, really comfortable seats. You just sink right into them. They are amazing. And you do have a lot of options for storage back here. You do have this fold-down armrest, but the seats also additionally fold up, which is really good. And you do have a power sliding rear window back here. So let's take it for a drive. Driving the 2020 Ram Rebel. This is a truck that I've just absolutely loved. I've always loved the Raptor. Don't get me wrong. I've always loved the Raptor. I've always loved that truck. But I don't know. As I've mentioned in the past, I was looking at a Ram for so long. So Ram is kind of just I don't know. It's kind of just like the truck of my heart. Like I've always liked the Rams, and then I love what they've done with the Rebel in recent years. And it's just so cool. It's just such a cool truck, and it just oozes this macho off-roadiness without going too overboard like some of the custom trucks you see sometimes. And I just love it. One thing I will say about the driving experience just right off the bat, the hood line on this is really, really high, and it's a little bit of an obstruction. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is something that I immediately noticed getting into this truck. Driving so many different trucks, you get to notice things, and just a little distracting. I'm sure the more you drove it, the more you'd get used to it. Open up this Eco Diesel. Oh my gosh. This thing really has a pretty quick, snappy response. It handles obviously pretty similarly to the 1500 Limited that I did last year. I would argue this one's a little bit more fun to drive comparatively to the Limited, just because, and I'll tell you why. This one's more capable off-road. A lot of comments that I was getting on that Limited review were like, man, the wheels on that are so big and the tires are so tiny that it doesn't feel like I'd be able to take it off-road. I'd have to keep it on the pavement. I'd have to be a pavement princess with this. And I sort of agree. I sort of get it. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You have the power of the diesel in this one. Really opening it up here. Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's so nice. It sounds so good. Oh, on these backcountry roads. So much fun to drive, as you can see by my face. And you guys have been asking for me to drive these trucks more often, and normally I do, but because of the virus, I unfortunately haven't been able to drive the trucks as often, and I have a lot more limited time when I'm reviewing these things. But in this case, since some of the laws are lightening up a little bit, they're allowing me to drive more of these trucks, and it's just so cool. And I would definitely say if you're looking at a Ram and you're looking in the price range of a Limited, look at a Rebel. I mean, it's very similarly equipped. You get this moonroof, you get the heated seats, you get the leather. I'm not 100% sure if it's an option for the larger touchscreen on this one. I want to say it probably is, and so you could spec it pretty similarly to the Limited, and of course you're not going to get the power running boards or the air suspension. You're going to lose out on a couple of those cooler, bigger features, but I think at the end of the day, it's probably more worth it for the off-road capable truck. Because I mean, if you're gonna buy that $70,000 Ram, like, are you really even gonna use it as a truck? Like, that's my big question. Had to switch the camera position because it kept falling down. So on these really, really hot days, it's quite difficult to keep my my window mount actually sticking to the window. So like I was saying, I mean, if you're looking for that $70,000 price range for these trucks, because I think this one stickers at about $64,000, and you're really looking for a serious truck, this would be the way to go. I mean, it's off-road capable, it's got the luxury features on the interior, and I wouldn't be worried about getting this stuck anywhere. The Ram Limited, as nice as it is, as much as I love that truck, man, I would wonder if, you know, it would be stuck if you were to take it off-roading. Like, I honestly wonder, yeah, it's got that lifted ride height and stuff, but are those tires going to be able to get you out of a situation, you know, that you get stuck in? Now, of course, you could put different wheels on it and stuff, and you could argue for a lot of different things on that truck, but that's just a point I figured I'd make with this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to wrap this video up now. If you could like, subscribe, that would really, really help my channel out. If you have any prayer requests, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'm going to be praying for everyone's request. I absolutely love this community. It's really, really cool. And as you guys know, since I'm a Christian, I felt like, what can I do to give back for you guys? And I'm like, I want to pray for you guys because I care about you. I respond to all your comments, and it's just such a cool opportunity, such a blessing to be able to do this job. I never in a million years thought I was going to be able to get to review these cars and trucks and stuff. It's just so cool. And as always, guys, I already know I look like Ryan Reynolds, as you saw in the beginning of the video, so you don't have to keep telling me. And take care. Have a great rest of your day. And I hope your vehicle lasts you a long time and it serves you well.